Hello and welcome back to the Nordic Takedown. Today we're going to talk about the deck that seems like everybody and their mother is playing right now online, and it is Obi Wan Vergence Temple. So I'm going to look at this list, kind of more of a deck review, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. First of all, Obi Wan is a new leader from Legends of the Force. He deploys on 5 resources, being a 3/6, and his leader ability is that he can use an action using the Force to give an experience token to a unit without an experience token on it. And as a unit, he can do this on attack without spending the Force. The base, however, is a more interesting topic because we have the 28 health bases that gives the Force on whenever a Force unit you own attacks. But the Vergence Temple is a bit different. It says when the regroup phase starts, if you control a unit with 4 or more remaining HP, the Force is with you. And the reason to play this base is this very specific combo you can do on turn 1 with Jedi Consular. So Jedi Consular is a 1/4 unit, which means if you play it turn 1, you will have the Force going into the second action phase. And if you have the initiative, you can immediately use Jedi Consular's ability. It's an action, exhausting Jedi Consular using the Force, and you may play a unit from your hand. It costs 2 less. So even if you don't have the initiative, if they don't deal with Jedi Consular in their first action, you can do this. And that enables you to play a 5 cost on turn 2, just like you would with now there are 2 of them. So that's a strong power play right there, and it kind of motivates this base. And the reason why I got interested in this leader base combination in the first place was on my way to the Moss PQ. Kenneth, a Norwegian player, told me about it, and then I immediately looked up on the web and found a couple of content creators that had already done decks of this leader and base. So this video is going to be me reviewing those and then giving you guys a take of my own. First and foremost, the Gonk gang put this list out. It was the first I could find, where we have the Jedi Consular, we have Vergence Temple, and we have a couple of strong 5-cost plays we could do. We have Ayla, Chewbacca, Kiadamundi, and also Blue Leader, which in my opinion might be the best of those, because we could play Blue Leader turn 2 as a 5/5 with Ambush. In addition to this, we have a couple of strong cards in this list. The new Obi-Wan, being a 3/5 Sentinel, is amazing. Mass is also very good because we have 9 cards that are Force units with pretty decent stats. So being able to play Mass turn 2, attacking with those for 2 extra power, can enable us to take out their turn 1 plays. In addition, we have Chirrut, which is a great card. Luke has always been good, and the new 7-cost here, Keller and Beck. That's kind of like Ewing, lets us search for the top 7 cards for a unit and play it for 3 less. So overall, this is pretty good. Still not completely broken, like seems like a pretty fair deck. But about a week later, Veiled Shot created a list of his own. And here we have another way we could ramp, which is the General's Blade. And General's Blade is gonna see a lot more power this set because we've gotten so many Force units, and crucially here, Jedis. Because we have 9 Jedis we could play turn 1. Turn 2 we could play the General's Blade on them. First of all, giving +3/+3, which is really strong. And then attacking, giving the same cost reduction as the Jedi Consular does. That we can play a unit for 2 less. This not only lets us play 2 cost for free turn 2, but it also enables to play a 6 cost on turn 3, when we're usually on 4 resources. But Veiled Shot did not play any 6 cost in the list, so not really going for that line. He also had a very cool addition of Axe Wolves. Axe Wolves here is a 3-cost unit. That's a 2/2 shielded that says this unit gets +1/+1 for each upgrade on him. So usually when you play it, it's a 3-cost 3/3 with a shield, decent. But with Obi-Wan, we can give an experience, making it a 5/5 shielded on turn 2. And that's without the combo with Jedi Consular or General's Blade. So now we have yet another power play on turn 2. Other cards here that Veilshot added, I think maybe the most impactful one is Yoda. Yoda is a new 8-cost unit, a 5/9, and it has a when played ability that lets you use the Force to heal 5 damage from a base. But then crucially, the second ability says when you use the Force. So it's not only when played, but whenever we use the Force, you may deal damage to a unit equal to twice the number of units you control. So kind of like Admiral Akbar, just twice. And it goes across arenas. And crucially, since it says when you use the Force, you do this immediately when you play him on 8, if you have the Force. And then next turn, you can use Obi Wan to use the Force that you've possibly regained from Vengeance Temple, and again deal damage to an enemy unit. So I think Yoda is an amazing power play to take over the game and kind of just snowball from there if you're not playing against hard control with a lot of removal and so forth. So a very different but also cool take on the leader. So now I'm gonna show you guys 2 lists that I made, and I've been also testing a fair bit online, and it seems like everybody else is doing the same, so this is quite popular deck. Hold up. Editing Jonah here. I was just about to publish this video and I see only 36% of you are subscribed. Guys, come on. If you enjoy our content, we would really appreciate it if you subscribe. Help us get to 800 subs. And guys, if you haven't, join the Discord. That's by far the best way to interact with us, and we want to see your cool deck brews for Legends of the Force. Anyway, I'll let you guys go on with it. And here is my first one. This is quite similar to Veilshot's list, but the 5 cost slot and 6 cost is quite different. So Veilshot played the Terentatek, but I opted for playing, he also has 3 blue leaders, which are crucially, remember we can play those for 5 to ambush in, but I also put in a Callus, and Callus is actually very much underplayed, I think, but card draw is very valuable, and being 4/4 instead of 5/5 does not really matter that much when you play turn 2, because a lot of players are going to play 2/4s, and crucially the effect of Callus can go repeatedly, so even in the mid to late game it can be very valuable just to have Callus on the board. So whenever you play your Shatterpoint, your forces with me to take out enemy units, you will keep on drawing cards, if they're unique, of course. Also went down on Kiadi Mundi compared to the Gonk Gang's list. So we only have 5 strong plays to use the Jedi Consular combo, but we still have Mass and Axe Wolves, which are great turn 2 plays, and Obi Wan, of course, just being a 3/5. But I did replace one of the 2 costs. I put in Secretive Sage. Sadly, he's not a Jedi, but he's a Force unit. A 2/2 shielded, decent stats, but with Mass, it's really, really good, because that enables you to take out basically any turn 1 play of your opponent and keep Secretive Sage because of the shield. So that's something good. But as you can see, I've put in 6 cost units, and these are just some of what you could play. It's a bit of false advertising with the old Obi-Wan in the thumbnail, so sadly we're not playing 3 Obi-Wans here in this deck. I did have them in the beginning, but then I realized that the Mandalorian was a little bit better for this line. So to reiterate, the line is we play a Jedi turn 1, Gunji, Jedi Consular, or Yaddle. Turn 2, we play General's Blade, and turn 3, if our unit is still alive, we'll attack with General's Blade, being able to play as 6 costs for 4. So then Anakin, I really like the card, but it's not really good for this line because we don't have any cards in our discard pile at this point. So General Riken and the Mandalorian are both better, being Sentinels. And crucially, the Mandalorian's when played ability and lets us heal our first Jedi, right? So let's say we've played Gunji, we've put the General's Blade, and we attack into our opponent's 3-5 units or so. Then we can play the Mandalorian just for 4, heal Gunji, and give him 2 shields. So that's very powerful right there. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Still, this is a very aggressive list because of the strong plays we can have with Axe Wolves, with ramping into those 5-cost units, and the forces with me is also just amazing here to kind of keep on putting the pressure. While continuously we're giving experience with Obi Wan, because most of our units have more than 4 HP. So unless we're taking damage immediately, we will continuously gain the force from Vengeance Temple. But I was looking at this thinking, okay, we can do some crazy plays here, but Yoda is coming quite late. What if we would build the deck to really focus on Yoda being the win condition, ramping into Yoda and just getting to a position where we can just snowball using that ability every turn? And what I came up with then was this version. So I'll call it just Obi Wan Ramp. That's because I put in 3 resupplies and the Spark of Hope. Not sure on it being that good turn 2 to ramp, but crucially put in another 6-cost unit, the resupply carrier. So if we manage to pull off Gunji, Jedi, Consular or Yaddle turn 1, General's Blade turn 2, then we can play resupply carrier for 4 resources, bringing us up to 5, letting us deploy Obi-Wan early, and then on attack giving the carrier an experience. So not only is it ramping us, it's also putting a 5-6 in space. And then if our Jedi with General's Blade still lives the next turn, we can play Yoda. Because then we're on 6 resources, and we attack with the General's Blade, and we can then play Yoda, which would usually be the 5 resource turn. But yeah, kind of high rolly crazy line. But even if we don't have Yoda there, just getting that ramp early lets us play our very, very strong late game units with the Mandalorian, Kylo Beck, Luke, and put in a little bit more top end with Redemption. And Nebula Ignition is just a fun addition here that could be good if you have upgraded a lot of your units with Obi-Wan, which you tend to do. Other than that, we still have the blue leaders, the Calices, did remove Mass and Secretive Sage, put in R2 and Marine for getting the force a bit more consistently with R2. It's nice to fill out the curve and trigger that 4 health. Also, Tech is pretty nice to, when you have ramped a lot and you've gotten to the late game, to still have things to play and push out damage. And lastly, another card I haven't talked about through this whole episode is Ereskov, a 4-cost unit that also lets us ramp. The problem with this unit is that it's kind of awkward when you ramp and the resource doesn't enter play ready. So it's not my favorite card, but it's good to have things to play on 4 if you haven't ramped or haven't gotten the cost reductions with Jedi, Consular and General's Blade. So that was it. Let me know what you think of this deck review style of video. It's very, very fun. Try it out for yourself. But I have to say, I've kind of already moved on to testing another deck, and in the next video, Jacob, Rakeup on Discord, and I will talk about Yoda Red with the Force base. Seems super fun, so stay tuned for that deck. Hope to see you in the next video.